Namaste, my beautiful yogis, and welcome back to another Yin Yoga session. My name is Mandy, and today we're going to work on the Liver Meridian. I would recommend that you keep some of these props handy just for comfort, and it will give you a bit of support and ease in some of the poses. If you don't have anything, don't worry, you'll still be able to do this class. I'll just let you know what to do if you don't have props. So, bolster and 2 blocks. If you don't have a bolster, you can use a very dense pillow or maybe 2 for a bit more height. Otherwise, couch pillows also work really nicely because they're usually a bit sturdier and denser. And then if you don't have blocks, you can always stack a few books on top of each other. So go and grab whatever you need for your practice. I'll meet you back on the mat and we'll get going. We're going to start today in child's pose. So you can bring the big toes to touch and the knees about mat width distance apart. I like to use a bolster here just because I like it nice and comfy. However, if you don't have a bolster or a pillow, you can just rest the torso down or the chest down onto the mat. Get nice and comfortable. The glutes move toward the heels. If there's a big gap there, then you can always place a blanket between the thigh and the calf. You're welcome to keep your head to one side for comfort. I will let you know when we're halfway through, and then you can move your head to the other side. It's always a lovely pose to just settle into the practice and into the space. Allow yourself to relax down and get comfortable. So the location of the liver meridian is as follows. It starts at the nail of the big toe, then it runs along the top of the foot, along the inside of the leg, up the pelvis and into the lower abdomen. From there, it enters into the liver and the gallbladder. From there, it branches into several directions to the lung meridian, the center of the eyes, and then it encircles the lips. So now you have more or less an idea of where that line runs. And you'll feel that we're going to target those areas with all our poses today. We're about halfway through now. So if you want to change your head and look over to the other side, you're welcome to do that, just so you feel like everything is symmetrical. However, it won't do any damage if you just keep your head off to one side if it's more comfortable. Just some more information on this meridian line. The element associated with this meridian is wood. The sensory organ is eyes. The tissue is the tendons. And the emotion associated with the liver meridian is anger and kindness. Keep releasing and relaxing down. A gentle reminder, you should never feel a sharp or electric pain in any of the poses. If you do, just back out a little bit. We're not taking ourselves to our limits in Yin Yoga, just to about 60% sensation. We're very slowly going to start to release out. And then we're going to start moving into sunflower rolls. So this will give your knees a bit of a breather. So come to standing, feet are about hip width distance apart. Clasp the elbows as you fold forward. Now we're going to inhale, circle the arms and the upper body up. And then exhale, release it down to the other side and back into forward fold. Keep inhaling, rolling up, and exhale, release down. One more time in this direction. Inhale up, exhale down. Let's swap sides. So inhale over to the opposite side, circling around. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up like a sunflower. Exhale down. Last time, inhale up. And exhale, release it down. Great. From here, we move into a squat pose. So the feet are a bit further than hip width distance apart. Toes face the long side of the mat. We sit down in a squat, hands to heart center, arms to the inside of the knees. We'll just be here for a moment. If the heels are lifted off the ground, that's okay. If it's uncomfortable, you can place blocks underneath the heels or your pillow, whatever you have accessible. Even scrunching up the mat can also help. Keep lengthening through the spine, reaching the crown of the head toward the ceiling. You can gently pry open the knees with the elbows. Now with control, you can gently sit back. Good. We're going to move into half butterfly pose now. So the right leg is in, the heel toward the groin. The left leg is straight and extends out to the side. You can grab hold of your blocks here or your pillow and just relax the elbows or the forearms down onto the blocks. If you don't have props, then just bring your hands onto the floor. Release down as much as you can. And make any adjustments that feel good. That left foot can be relaxed so you don't have to activate it in any way. If at any point it becomes uncomfortable, you can just back out a little bit, closing the distance or the angle between the legs a little. Maybe if the hamstrings are very tight, you might want to place something underneath that left knee. So there's a micro bend in the knee. That's perfectly fine too. We're slowly going to release out and move into a side stretch while we're in this shape. So you can slowly start to lift up, and then bring the block to the left leg, the outside of the left leg, and you can relax the elbow onto the block. And you can bring that right arm behind you or keep it rested on the right leg. So if the block is comfortable, you can stay there, or you can obviously lean on your hand. I find it most comfortable to relax my arm onto my left leg. So it's really up to you here. You just want to feel the stretch in the right side body as well. We'll only be here for a few breaths, won't stay here too long. Don't fold forward too much. Keep the chest nice and lifted. Slowly we release out. Take a breath, and then we're going to transition to the other side. So that left heel moves into the groin, the right leg is straight and extended, and we widen out the legs as much as we can. Again, use whatever prop you have handy to make it nice and comfortable. Otherwise, just leaning on your hands and relax into the pose as much as you can. I know this pose can be quite intense on the inside of the leg. Just remember, we go to our first edge in Yin Yoga because we stay in the poses for so long. So really connect with your body, listen to your body and to what it needs. You're going to start to move out and transition into that side stretch. And whatever you chose the first time, you can use again, maybe placing a block on the outside of the right leg to rest the elbow. That right arm down and release it to the floor or onto the leg. Find a space and a way that is comfortable for you. Okay, gently we're going to release out. And we'll just find a bit of a counter stretch or a release. So hug the knees into the chest. And let's do windscreen wipers. So the feet are mat width distance apart and just allow the knees to drop from side to side, releasing the hips and lower back. From here, we're going to move into a reclined butterfly pose. So if you don't have a pillow bolster, you can just move to the floor. Otherwise, place the bolster into the lower back. Release onto the bolster or onto the pillow. The soles of the feet come together and the knees fall apart. So just relaxing. I like to place my arms up overhead and underneath my head, so I get that stretch in the rib cage area as well. If you experience any pins and needles, if the arms are up overhead, just bring them back down to your side. And also if the curve is too much in the back with that pillow there, you can move the pillow away from you a little bit. That will reduce the curve and the back bend won't be as deep. We'll only be here for about 2 minutes. So not for too long. If there's too much pressure on the hips with the knees apart, then you can place books or bolsters or blocks underneath the knees just to support the legs. Keep releasing through the hips, allowing them to fall open to the side. Gently, we're going to release out. Take your time, bring the knees together, then straighten the legs out and just take a quick forward fold. This should feel really good on the back just to counter that back bend. You're welcome to round through the back. It's not about getting deeply into the stretch, it's just to release. Next, we'll move into a deer pose. So you want to bring the right shin parallel to the short side of the mat and the left shin more or less parallel to the long side of the mat. So 90 degrees in both knees and both legs. And then you twist and fold over that right shin, so the front leg. And release down. If the floor is too far away, place a bolster underneath the arms. Should feel an opening in the right hip or stretch in the right glute. So this is the first half of this pose, folding forward. And slowly we're going to release out again, and we're going to keep the legs exactly as they are and just going to lean back. So I like to place a bolster behind me, but you can stay lifted on the hands or you can release down onto the elbows or onto a pillow. Again, the legs stay in that 90 degree shape. So now you will feel the stretch on the left hip. So that hip is now internally rotating, feeling a different kind of stretch. So again, your options are either staying on the hands, this can be quite intense, or you can come onto the elbows or onto a pillow, or maybe you're even so comfortable that you can go all the way down to the floor, onto the back. So your choice here. And again, a reminder, we don't go all the way in Yin Yoga, just to that first edge of sensation. If you're not feeling any sensation, then maybe the feet are folded in too much. Maybe then the knees aren't in a 90-degree angle. Slowly release out, and we'll move straight to the other side. So you can place your pillow to the other side to have it ready if you want to. So this time the left shin is parallel to the short side of the mat. The right shin is parallel to the long side of the mat, and we fold over that front leg. So folding over the front shin, the left shin. "90-degree angle in both legs. Sometimes people fold over the thigh, so they twist too deeply, and then the stretch isn't as effective. So just make sure that you're folding over the shin. And stay as lifted as you need to. Go to whatever point you can go to. Gently start to rise up. Keep the legs exactly as they are. Just lean back either onto the hands, the elbows, the pillow, or flat on the floor if that's accessible to you. And we relax. This time feeling the stretch in that right hip. There are very few poses in yoga where we internally rotate the hip. And it's really good to get that side of the hip as well into a stretch. So a good pose to remember, deer pose in Yin Yoga, also known as 90-90 pose. Slowly, gently release out. You probably feel like you will want to release a little bit, so straighten out the legs, shake the legs, move the feet from side to side to release the hips, whatever your body tells you feels good. And then we're going into a butterfly pose again, this time folding forward. So the soles of the feet are together, knees are apart. I like to use a bolster again just to make it nice and comfy to relax forward. But again, you definitely don't need the pillow. You can just fold forward and let gravity do its thing. Also, again, a reminder, if it's too much on the hips, place something underneath the knees to support the legs. Arms can be wherever it's comfortable, even wrapping around the feet or just resting onto the floor. Maybe you lift it up high, then you can place the hands on the floor for support. A lot of work happening on the hips. So it's a nice hip opener class as well to gain mobility in the hips again. Let's start to very slowly rise up. You stay in the pose for long, you take your time coming out. And take the bolster with you and make your way onto your back. Again, if you don't have a pillow or a bolster, it's fine. We're going to go into a supine twist. So I like to tuck the pillow in between the legs and then drop the knees over to the left-hand side. Both shoulders stay on the floor and the arms are extended. The head can be neutral looking up or looking over the right shoulder. A nice supine twist here. If maybe you feel that it's too much on the back, if you go into a full twist, place something underneath that bottom leg to support you, to keep you lifted off the floor. The reason I place a bolster or a pillow in between my legs is just again to put a bit of pressure on that meridian line running on the inside of the legs. And it just feels really comfortable. Always lovely to end a class in supine twists. Start to move into a relaxation mindset if you're not there yet after all these poses. But you can start to close the eyes and allow the breath to settle down. This is our last set of poses before we move into Shavasana. We will release now to the other side. So take the pillow with you if you had it, either for support below the leg or in between the legs or both. The knees go over to the right-hand side, shoulders stay down on the floor. We're not flopping over to one side. We want to get a twist in the spine. Arms out to the side. Head or neck either neutral, looking up, or over the left shoulder. Try to relax as much as you can. Slowly release. Take your time. And then make any movements that feel good, hugging the knees into the chest, maybe straightening out the legs, maybe rocking from side to side, whatever is good. And when you're ready, you can make your way into Shavasana, so lying down on the floor. What I like to do when I have a pillow around is to place that pillow or bolster underneath the knees. And that bend in the knees will reduce the curve in the lower back, so pressing the lower back to the floor. And it's a nice relief if you have any discomfort in the lower back. So the feet fall out to the side naturally as you relax through the hips. Arms are next to your side, palms of the hands face up, shoulders relax down into the mat. You can slightly tuck the chin toward the chest just to straighten out through the neck. Get yourself comfortable and then relax down onto the floor. And as you're lying here, you can feel yourself being flooded with a sense of peace. So maybe like a wave moving through you, you can start at the crown of the head. Imagine a gentle ripple. And as this ripple moves through your body, it will flood you and infuse you with peace. So feel this wave at the crown of the head moving into your face and head. down into the throat and neck, through the shoulders, down the arms, into the hands and fingers. Then from the shoulders, through the chest and upper back, through the torso, toward the hips, through the legs, knees, shins, calves, into the ankles, and down into the feet, all the way down to the toes. Your whole body is flooded and infused with peace. Peace and calm and kindness. And with this beautiful sensation, allow yourself to rest and relax even deeper. Just for another moment. Oh, you're welcome to stay here for a little longer if you want to. Otherwise, if you're ready to come out, you can start to deepen the breath. Start to move the toes and fingers to wake up the body. Take a deep inhalation and reach the arms up overhead, stretching from the fingertips to the toes. And as you exhale, hug your knees into your chest. And then taking your time, keep your eyes closed and make your way back up to seated, crossing the legs and bringing hands to heart center. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be protected from inner and outer dangers. May you be healthy in body and mind. May you be happy and find true peace. Namaste. Thank you so much, yogis, for joining me again today for this Liver Meridian session. I hope you enjoyed the class and that you're feeling nice and relaxed now. And if you want to check out this week's podcast episode on personal development, it's all about the lesson that I learned while hitting my head really hard. If you're curious and interested, go and head over to my channel to episode number 27. Otherwise, I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day or evening, and I will see you again in the next session.